Welcome to the first episode of The Drop Step. I am your host, Dylan Soto, and we are going to get right into the news today. Basically, I just want to get off lot of stuff, sporting news, a lot of stuff in the sporting news, and let's just kick right into it. This is the first episode of The Drop Step that you'll actually probably see. I filmed a couple episodes. They're a little dated at this point. I just didn't get the editing done fast enough. That's just it's a personal thing that I have to get better at. So hopefully this is the first one you're seeing because I actually have some thoughts and there's some stories that are pretty active right now. But I want to start with what happened last night. Dodgers Blue Jays game 3 goes 18 innings. Shohei Ohtani gets on base 9 times, 5 walks in extra innings, 4 intentional, one not, but pretty much intentional. Will Little had no intention of going after Ohtani. It goes 18 innings. Freddie hits the home run to center field. The only person to end 2 World Series games after the walk-off in Game 1 of the World Series last year against the Yankees, taking Nestor Cortez deep. What a game, man. It felt like it was going to be Dodgers the whole way. Every extra innings, it felt like they were fouling off good pitches. They were making solid contact. They would get a single. The Blue Jays, the last 4 innings of extras, I don't even think had anyone on in scoring position until the last one when Klein gets them. Will Klein goes 4 innings, had never pitched more than 33 pitches like 71, goes 4 innings shutty. Yamamoto putting himself out there to go pitch the game went on. Good thing they got it done in the 18th. Otherwise, we would have seen Yamamoto out there in the 19th inning. This is the Dodgers at peak performance. They have all these arms, they have all these elite bats. And then it's the unsung guys that they develop, like Will Klein, that take them the rest of the way. Yamamoto volunteering to go out after his last 2 starts being both complete games. Pitched 18 innings in his last 2 games and was going to pitch on 2 days rest just because the Dodgers needed arms. It's really one of the coolest stories that you could do. Shohei, unbelievable night, the 2 homers, the 2 doubles. Schneider finally decides to start walking him after he goes 4 for 4 with 2 homers and 2 doubles. I don't know how you pitch to Shohei for the rest of the series. Obviously, you can't just lead off walk him every time, but it's something that you got to think about at least. I wouldn't want to pitch to Shohei for the rest of the series. But right after Shohei, it's Mookie and Freddie. So, and then Will Smith almost goes yard in extras. Looks like the ball dies at the wall. That same ball had been hit earlier in the game. If you look at the StatCast measurements of the velocity off the bat and the launch angle, a lot of those balls get out in a little bit warmer of the weather. But in the 14th to the 15th inning in Dodger Stadium, when the hills are cooling, it's not gonna go far. Dodgers close it out. Kershaw comes in, bases loaded, gets the 1 out. What a gutsy decision from Dave Roberts, a guy who rightfully and unrightfully so has had playoff qualms. Like, Kershaw got lit up in the 2017 World Series, which we now know Houston Astros probably cheated there. I know it's not confirmed that they cheated in the playoffs, but there's no reason to assume that they didn't. I understand that it would have to be not the trash can banging itself, but Kershaw has had a guy is known who's a playoff dropper. I don't want to say choker. Choker seems too much, but dropper for sure. And he comes out, gets the 1 out that he needs, and keeps the game alive for the Dodgers. And if that's the last time we ever see Clayton Kershaw, I think we will think about it as part of one of the greatest games in MLB history, a game that goes 18 innings, and that he gets 1 out, but it's the closest the Blue Jays were to ever scoring in extras. So I think it's gonna be remembered as like a great moment for Kershaw, and I think him getting the 3,000 strikeout this year was big. That was really cool. Or maybe it wasn't the 3,000 strikeout. His final start at Dodger Stadium is something that I got to watch. Obviously just on TV, but it's historic. It's a guy from my childhood that I'll never get to see play again. The only one I can like, Verlander, I feel like has been done for a little bit, and he's just been bouncing around. It's a little LeBron like. Obviously, we're not there with LeBron where we know when he's gonna retire. We know this is it. But Kershaw, legendary. Not much to say. Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player we've ever seen play baseball. And I think that if I just had to give on October 28th at 11 a.m., I would say the Dodgers probably close this out in 6. Give the Blue Jays one more game. Also, not talked about, I haven't talked about it once. They played 18 innings. They play again today and then play again tomorrow. I don't know how they're going to get innings out of their bullpen. Shohei pitches tonight after having the game he had yesterday. I don't understand how they're going to scrounge up 18 innings of pitching, let alone another game goes to extra innings. Another 18 innings of pitching, you really got to hope that you're in a blowout and you can burn someone. But I just don't know if that's going to happen. Neither of these teams do that. I mean, obviously the Dodgers have the capacity to blow out teams, but the Blue Jays, it's not their brand of baseball, even though they've done it before. It's more the contact, the defense, the timely hitting, good pitching. But I would say Dodgers in 6 right now. I'd give the Blue Jays another game. They probably split these next 2, however it goes. And then you'd be back in Toronto for game 6. So that'd be interesting. I'd go Dodgers in 6 right now. The next topic that I has been on my mind a little bit, and obviously we're still learning more information about, is the NBA betting scandals between Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier getting arrested by Kash Patel and the FBI. What an insane statement I just said. Obviously, this is incredibly stupid, and obviously the investigation's still ongoing. There's a reason they've arrested. There's a reason that there's an indictment. It's because they think they can prosecute this case. Or they believe that they can leverage this case into taking down a bigger gambling ring. I think the easier one to talk about, but the less interesting one, is Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier was supposedly giving inside information to other people to make bets on his unders on a 2023 game when he was still a member of the Charlotte Hornets. I would like to think it doesn't happen in the league. You would love to think it doesn't happen, but I'm not naive. People are greedy. This is a guy that has $100 million over his NBA lifespan. And it's sad to think that you'd throw it all away for possibly a $20,000 payout. That would just be my guess. If you're betting the under on Terry Rozier, I'm sure you're not getting great odds. But also it doesn't help that he has not been able to play basketball, not because of the scandal as much, because he was cleared by the NBA somehow, but he's just been abysmal, and the Miami Heat traded for him after this scandal the league was aware of the scandal. And Terry Rozier, who was supposed to be a part of this team to actually contribute, has been awful for the Miami Heat and is going to go down as one of the most hated players in franchise history. I would believe. I think that it's really sad. I'm a proponent of getting betting off of the mainstream. I don't think that sports betting should be illegal per se, as I hold a bat and I'm reminded of Pete Rose, who's, I mean, the same way that Pete Rose is shunned from baseball, Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups will be shunned from basketball, I'm assuming. I don't think that these guys will ever play or work again in the league, unless this all, obviously not. They are prosecuting this case. These guys will probably never play or coach again in the league. And that's wild for Chauncey Billups with the history of the '04 championship, taking down the Lakers, breaking up Shaq and Kobe. Like, that's an influential team in our history, and we'll always be reminded that Mr. Big Shot was taking shots at poker games and giving inside information to people at poker games. I know I'm leaking into the Chauncey Billups story, and I want to get my own thoughts on sports betting out, but I just think that prop betting someone's unders, it seems like there's too much leeway. There's too much gray area for people to cheat the system. And I understand that, and that's the whole reason why I'm not against the privatization or even the the restriction of sports betting, is because the only way to catch people is to have it legal. It is the easiest way to continue to catch people and to regulate a system, the same way that you would with marijuana usage in the United States. It's the only way to regulate this and keep tabs and work with sports betting companies. Like, it's the only way to do it, to make it as safe as you can. I personally just hate fucking seeing prop bets on my TV screen. I've never been more frustrated watching a sport and seeing a money line of a game that it is corrupting the mind of the average viewer. And that's what all the ad companies and these betting companies like DraftKings and FanDuel, they are pumping ads at you every time you watch a sporting event. You cannot watch a sporting event and betting not come up one time, either in an advertisement or in the national broadcast. It's become so desensitized that we've almost forgotten the reason. It would be like if we had broadcasters drinking during a sporting event. I'm sure it happens, and it does happen. And like one of my favorite baseball movies of all time, Major League, it's literally a running bit that they're drinking whiskey because the team sucks so bad. It's a funny bit. I get it. But doesn't mean it happens in actuality. The broadcasting sports betting is just peddling gambling to young kids. And that's what it comes down to. It is the same way that you shouldn't, it's the same reason we have, obviously there's age limits to gambling, and age limits to like alcohol or a substance use. But this is an addictive thing. I think we see it even in, I've expanded upon this, that like NBA 2K and any sports game that has a pack opening system where you put real money into a game and you buy these artificial packs for artificial cards, or virtual cards, not artificial, but these virtual cards, and then you trade these virtual cards for a microcurrency, or it's the same thing as crypto. It is, but you can never get that money back out when you put these into these games. And youth are so influenced by this that it's really frustrating for me that sports can be so capitalist driven. Obviously, I know what I'm getting at. It'll never not run under a capitalist system, like sports in general. It's just sad that people are taking something like a kid's game, like baseball, like basketball or football, and are nefarious with their purposes. The Chauncey Billups thing is pretty wild. The fact that he is tied up with possible mafia connections, and who knows, Chauncey Billups very well could be in a position where he's not able to have own autonomy over his choices. If we're being legit, there's mafia connections. If his family is being threatened and his livelihood is being threatened because he wouldn't give information, that is sad. But that is incredibly sad. but that hasn't been released as part of the scandal yet, or as part of the reporting. I think it's inherently sad that sports betting is as publicized as it is, and as front of the average viewer than it is. I think there's ways to do it. I think there's ways to sports bet that are safe and legal, but still do not affect the average viewer of sports. I think that it's okay to have the occasional ad, but having it on the ticker at the bottom of your screen, it infuriates me. You're watch you will never win. It's a casino. What? I You're never going to beat the casino. You're never going to beat the sports book. Over time, you will lose. Otherwise, they will not continue to give you the things that you're winning on. If you find a prop bet that works, eventually, if you are consistently winning on a prop bet, they are going to either change the odds of that prop bet or get rid of it in total. It is a casino. And the casino always wins. Why are you thinking you can outsmart the casino? That's their whole business plan, is to prey on people who are looking to make a quick buck. I can't imagine enjoying betting on sports, on other teams, or my own personal team. I get upset playing fantasy football and watching my team lose. And I have zero money involved in this. Maybe a buy-in, but very little amount of money that I should actually care, and it does influence how I watch the games. I think that's awful. Enjoy the sports for what they are. Is kind of a long tangent, and I honestly don't know if I'm ever going to use this, because I feel like I'm going into a semantical argument against sports betting, against something that is never going to change. And I think we've just gone too far. It's really tough. I think we're too far in. We broke the seal too fast. That we have all these sports media companies that all they do is promote betting as well. I'm talking about Barstool Sports, but it's not even like new media like Barstool or Bleacher Report or anything like that. It is historical media. It is ESPN. It is these NBC. These are like historical media companies that broadcast our games and are peddling you down a rabbit hole of addiction. That's what gambling is. It is a true addiction, and it's a gateway for bigger problems. And I can't believe it is as forward as it is. And I understand I probably restated my point 10 times over in this. It's just something that shouldn't. It's. Overall, I've gone on a tangent about sports betting. I don't sports bet. If I ever do in the future, it is. I'm very gonna be very interested watching this back, and thinking about why I sports bet in the future if I ever do, because of how I feel now. Because I feel like it genuinely ruins the product for the viewer, the players, and the broadcast of it. I think it's really. I think it's not the best. That was awful. So that was pretty serious for this point in the show. Normally I will like to have some fun. I do want to do some NBA talk right now. I know we went straight into baseball. I think the easiest place to start is with opening night. Spurs Mavs. Victor Wembanyama. I know I'm about to get into the rookies. Victor Wembanyama owned that game. And I feel like he's the only place that feels like to start with the NBA is with one of the undefeated teams in the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama, who possibly cemented himself as the best player in the NBA this week. It is week 1 of season 3 for Victor Wembanyama, and I am saying it right now. He is the best player in the NBA. That seems insane in a league with Jokic and SGA dropped 50, and Jokic had a triple double last night. This man is the best player in the NBA. He's blocking every shot at the rim, and he is deterring more shots than he is blocking. The team is super fun to watch. The Spurs team, they haven't even had De'Aaron Fox play yet. Stephon Castle looks like he is just on another level. The slow step, the gathers. It's a good team. I'm super excited to watch them the rest of the way through. But they're kind of the only whole team I want to talk about. I will do a little Knicks segment at the very end, just for me. But we got to start moving. I got probably 15 more minutes until I gotta leave for work. But I want to talk about some rookies. Cooper Flag. It feels right to start there. That first game against the Spurs, slow, didn't score in the first half. Came back out in the third quarter, hit a mid-range jumper, hit a three. He almost set the roof on fire with that first play. They're in transition, and it's him and AD on a 2-on-1 fast break, and he gives up to AD, and then he's on the right side, and AD throws it back up for the lob, and Cooper jumps up there and he gets to it and almost throws it down, just misses the lob for his first NBA bucket, and that place was ready to pop. Overall, he's playing a lot of point guard. He hasn't had the big explosive game yet. He's being who we thought he was. I genuinely believe that. I think he's exactly who we thought he was. We'll see the full array once there's a point guard playing next to him and he's like a true second ball handler, not the lead guy. But I think there's a lot of promise, and I think that we're actually seeing a superstar be born. Also, what's the 4-letter words the kids are saying? Aura. When you are doing the national anthem and the whole crowd screams flag during the national anthem for you, and then star, it is one of the coolest arena things I've seen a team have, and to do it for a guy who's only played a week in the league, he's going to be special. He's fully going to be special. Back to the Spurs, though. They have the number 2 overall pick, Dylan Harper. What a dog, man. I really see the Cade stuff. He's been able to score without the ball, which is super interesting. He's been a connector piece, and I think he's going to have to be that connector piece at least for year 1 with the Spurs team, between the ball handling that Stephon Castle is going to have to continue doing, especially when they reincorporate De'Aaron Fox, and how much dribbling Wemby is doing. Obviously, they're getting him a lot of post touches and they're getting him entry passes, but being a connecting piece is something that this team's going to need. And I think Dylan Harper does that. VJ Edgecombe had the massive first game of the season. And Philadelphia Sixers 3-0. And it looks like they're moving in a spot forward with VJ and Tyrese Maxey. And kind of Embiid's been getting pulled from some games and hasn't looked great. VJ's been pretty awesome. Any other rookies that come to mind? Reed Shepherd had the bad first game. I mean, if I had to give predictions, we're talking week 1, again, October 28th, 11:30 a.m. My finals prediction, I would guess, I'm between Oklahoma City and Denver. I know that's not groundbreaking. Oklahoma City 4-0 again to start, and they just look like they swallowed up teams defensively. Shea has gotten 50 a couple of times, or 50 once, high scoring multiple times. Almost closed out the they did close out the Rockets in game 1, hitting the shot over Amen in regulation and then just turning it on in overtime. Denver's legit. Aaron Gordon had a 50-point game. Jamal Murray last night, 40 points. Then Jokic with the triple-double. I think they're just dangerous. The bench is deeper. They should be good. But I think I got to get into my Knicks talk, because I can't be talked out of them right now not being a finals contender or being in the finals. Conference finals are bust for this Knicks team under Mike Brown. They just lost a bad game to the Heat yesterday or on Sunday, and I believe they play again tonight. Who do they play tonight? Who do they play tonight? They are playing the Bucks at 5 p.m. It should be a win. I it's really I'm getting frustrated watching this team already because I expect them to win every single game they play because that should be the expectation of this team. The East is god awful. The Knicks should be able to run the table and get to the finals for the first time since 2000. Jordan Clarkson, crazy place to start. Fully understand. Crazy place to start. He was awful in that game against the Miami Heat. I need him to be pulled if he's gonna play like that. Like Mike Brown, I get it's early in the season, you want to give guys opportunities, but one of like the most frustrating games I've seen play, like a guy who's clearly looking for it, is searching for it. They didn't have Miles McBride or Deuce in that game, and that's something because he's probably playing Deuce's minutes in that game, and the shots he's taking, the 3-pointers in transition, the 3-pointers off the catch, that's all stuff Deuce is better at, and I think obviously is going to be in that spot moving forward. Cat was pretty awful to watch. He was taking these 3-pointers coming down not even in transition, just off the trail, and just taking these deep threes out of nowhere, and I was just like, and he missed the first 6. He finally got one to go in the 4th, and I thought it might spark him, but you could see, like, when he missed the first 3 in a row, he was like, he pumped, Bam didn't bite, and then he drove right by him. I was like, the shot's gonna open up if you're able to get by Bam. Bam is a fucking awesome defender, and if you can blow by him on the dribble every once in a while, it's gonna open up your shot again. Jalen tried to carry this team against the Heat, just didn't have enough help. No one else could hit a shot. Anything else on this team? I've been a little underwhelmed by Gershon Yabusele. I got my expectations too high. This team has also not had Mitchell Robinson play yet, which is frustrating, absolutely, because they're fully running this lineup with Ariel Hukporti starting and playing 14 minutes a game. So it's a start, and but he's not playing starter minutes. I need this lineup to be better. They're 2-1. It is 3 games in. This team could go on a run at any point. I just haven't been super impressed from what I've seen. That being said, put it together. Go win a championship, please. Dodgers should close out in 6. Just to recap, Victor Wembanyama, best player in the NBA. I hate sports betting. I hate the visibility of sports betting. Yeah, I think that about does it for us. Just coming in about 35 minutes on the recording. I got to cut some stuff down. Yeah, I'm just looking around. Maybe I can find one more thing. Well, I'm going to reach for this because I see it out right here. Channel Orange, Frank Ocean. Give it a listen to today. Listen to Lost. Because that's what I'm going to do on the way to work. I'm going to listen to Channel Orange now. But I just want to say thank you guys. If you watched any of this or you're watching to this point, you skipped to here. You're appreciated as a friend and as a viewer because I don't expect many random people to be watching this. Try your hardest, do your best, and do what you think is right, and always express empathy for those around you, even when they do not do that for you. Have a good one.